Have you ever stepped into the paint aisle of your local hardware store and felt as if the selections were just multiplying around you? In chatting with many of you, I've heard you and one of your biggest struggles is how to select a paint color. I'm not gonna lie, as a professional designer and even a creator of a paint line, selecting a paint color can be very, very tricky. So today I wanted to share my inside process on how I select the perfect paint color every time. The first thing I do is put the colors palette swatch down and avoid the paint aisle like crazy. What, you might be wondering? Well, here is my big secret. I select the paint color the very last part of my project. Often when we're thinking about making a change, we instantly hop in the car and go check out all the paint colors out there. This is a big no-no. Here's my big insider secret on how all of the pros do it. You really need to begin with the end in mind, and I know you're thinking, how do you do that? Here's what you need to do. First, you need to look around your room or your home and take stock on all of the finishes that you're already working with. So when I do this, I look at the floor rugs, the fabrics on my chairs, my sofas, my pillows, the artwork, the color and tones of the furniture, the countertops, and even my flooring. I really examine these colors and the tones of these objects to start to get a sense of what all of these things have in common. You will start to see similarities in common tones such as grays, yellow, beiges, pink tones, green tones, and I start to let these hues be my guide. I have a little saying to help you remember this: let your hues be your cues. When you start looking at your decor and get a sense of these tones, this will help you narrow down the focus tremendously. For instance, if you have a house full of warm, rich browns and beiges with slight pink undertones, I would not go for a cool gray even if that's the hottest color trend right now. I might go for a complementary beige with a similar pink undertone, or a warm gray with beige undertones, or a rich, deeper color to complement the beige tones that I already have. Which leads me to my next tip. Next, I decide whether I want to go for a bold or subtle palette. There are many projects where I want the space to feel more subtle with gray, beige, white, cream tones in the background. However, I have just as many projects where I want a very distinct color on the wall, such as a deep blue or a rich red or a saturated green and even black. Once I've decided on the saturation or the depth of the color, I then decide how I want to use color to enhance my room. Once you narrow down the options, you will start to see 2 or 3 directions that can be very stunning. Now, one of these is usually very monochromatic, meaning the color will basically blend with the colors that you're already working with. So in the case of beige, you could select a lighter beige or a darker, richer, deeper beige or even deeper brown, but it'll still be in the same color palette. All of the colors and tones in your space would basically be very similar, and you'd be looking at a variety of the same colors, which can be very beautiful. However, if you're working with beige tones, you can also select a more contrasting color, such as a deep rich red or a burgundy or a black like we did in this space. Now, how do you know which contrasting color to pull from? Again, you take your cues from your hues. When you start examining your decor, you're going to see that you probably have certain secondary colors that are repeated over and over again. I would use those tones to help guide me whenever I'm selecting a contrasting color. Once you've thought carefully through this exercise and these steps, you will see that the endless, unlimited options can quickly be narrowed down to just a handful of a few great options. From there, you can decide if you want that monochromatic palette or if you want a contrasting palette. And then from that point, you can narrow it down to just a few color selections. When I come to this point, I just buy a few of the tester pots in these colors, and then I try them throughout my project, my room, or my home to see how the color looks in the space and how lighting affects all of my choices. And there you have it. This is my exact process to selecting a paint color on every project I use. It always starts out the same way, and this little system is what I've developed to truly help me overcome that overwhelming feeling when you're trying to select that one paint color. Do you have a great tip on how to select a paint color? If so, be sure to leave a comment so we can share our ideas with all of our great subscribers. Did you like this video? If so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. And when you're done, head over to the blog where you can sign up for more free weekly design tips. Do you know someone who's struggling with how to get started on selecting a paint color? If so, I'd love the honor of you sharing this video with your friends and your loved ones. Till next time, keep working on your projects and make them special in the way that only you can. Thanks for watching. It's much easier to see the end result with the rug design over the individual fabrics.